Make him nervous.
I make everything nervous.
You do.
Join us on a stroll through the strange and frightening, but always intriguing, world of the unexplained. Join us as we tiptoe through the darkness with your hosts, Izzy, and I'm Bethany. Well, we're back!
Look at how much bigger it is because it's closer to you. You need distance from the mic.
Yay! Thank God we're back.
We had a mini vacation.
No, we didn't have a vacation. You got a vacation.
Whoa, I was working the entire time.
So was I. I was working my ass off baking and trying to feed people for Christmas and shit, and you were just puking your guts up in the hallway, people. On the wall! Aim to the toilet, the sink at least.
I don't get pre-warnings when I have to vomit. It's just full cannon shot.
Yeah, I know.
Boom.
All over the wall. That's some nasty, nasty shit.
I had some powerful lungs.
So we missed all of you, all of our fans.
Whoever bothers to listen to this at all, we appreciate you.
Maybe it will never be discovered but for my grandchildren. They're like, Grandma, I heard you when you were young. It can happen.
Like the weird tapes that you can find on Fallout 4.
Yes. Something similar to that. Yes. Let's use a video game analogy because we don't have any real life analogies. Human emotions are hard.
My grandmothers were bitches. And since we had the same grandmothers, I'm going to say yours are too.
Okay, that's true. Alright. So, it was good holidays. Did you have a good Christmas?
I got some good stuff.
You're full of shit. I gave you an unbelievable birthday.
You did. I really love
Yeah, I know.
I like tea.
I should have been saving that for next year's birthday, because next year's the big one. The big 5-0.
I don't mind growing older, but I won't be that old.
No, not quite. She'll only be 4-0.
We already mentioned my birthday.
Did we?
Here. Yeah, because I said I was born the same year as Lennon died. So.
As Lady D who?
Lennon. John Lennon died.
Oh, I thought you said Lady Di. I was like, what?
I still have this cold. Just a little bit in the back of my throat.
Okay, you are never not sick. You know how you had the Never Nude from Arrested Development? Did you ever see that show?
Yes.
That's you, but with never well. You're never well. You're always sick. Always.
You really had to play some linguistic twister to get that to make sense.
No. I don't know why, but Never Nude has been in my mind lately. Okay, so anyway, we're not here to talk about Arrested Development.
We are not.
We are here today to talk about sociopaths, psychopaths, and
narcissists. Okay, so I love mental disorders. I really do. I love reading about them and studying them. But I'm going to admit that through most of this, I am going to be talking out of my ass because I am not a psychiatrist.
Was the one you showed me, you had me listen to about what it sounds like if you've got schizophrenia? That was terrifying.
Yeah.
I played it for the husband and he was like, no, that's not.
They did a 2020 where they had this journalist and they had him just answer a simple form of put your name down, your day, age, your address. But they had that going on. He had to listen to that while he was doing it. And he couldn't concentrate at all. He couldn't even answer his name because it was just too distracting.
Well, it is too distracting. Did you ever listen to that video that was going around? That's what English sounds like for non-English speakers.
Yeah.
And I every now and then I'll have to go back and re-listen to them because I'm like, that is unbelievable. Because you can catch a word every now and then. You're like, oh, I understood that word. But.
Okay, so I understand that English is a more messed up language than any other language in the world because it was born of a fusion.
Okay, you don't realize how horrible it is until you're trying to teach a kid to read. Because you come up to words like we're, and you have different spellings, different meanings, but it's the same word.
Yeah.
We're. And it's just different usages and different, if you put more on the pronunciation at the beginning or it's just, it's very confusing, and trying to help a little kid learn to read and how people who learn English.
There's a scale on languages that are most difficult to learn.
What's the toughest? Russian.
Chinese.
Ooh, totally believe that.
And because it is such an old language that it is totally it's like a city that is built upon older cities sort of thing. And it's just, a lot of words mean different things, like where, but simply by pronunciation.
Do you know, I was listening to, have you ever heard of this is totally off topic. Side note, by the way.
This whole thing has been a side note.
Okay, have you ever heard of Genji? The story of Genji? It's Japanese. It's like...
I know of the Genji.
No, not the Ganges. Not like the Ganges River. No, it's a book, and it was written like 2,000 years ago, or maybe 1,000 years ago. I can't remember. But it is amazing. I have to look it up. Apparently there's been manga, movies made out of it. It would rival the lengthage of like, Thornbirds or Gone with the Wind. It was a very lengthy translation, but I don't know why I started talking about this.
I don't know either, but I'm waiting for you to get to a point. So
okay, it doesn't matter. All right, go. Just talk about your stupid topic.
Side note, since you already side noted, there is this fairy tale.
Does this have anything to do with the topic?
No. But since we were talking about, you mentioned Japanese, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's what made me think of this. There's this fairy tale of this girl who's named, I believe, Toyoko, who saves her father from a demon. It's a classic fairy tale of the Japanese culture. They need to make her into a Disney princess.
Side note on the side note.
Awesome.
Okay, you know what I found out? Nobility and the ruling class in Japan spoke Chinese.
Yeah.
So why were they such dickholes to the Chinese? I don't understand.
Because same way that the English nobility all spoke German and French, and yet they were dickholes to the French.
Okay, good point. Okay, so let's go on to the topic of the day.
Wait, I got the girl's name.
Because this is super important.
The Disney princess. I do a lot of editing.
I thought that they should do some more different... Okay, have you ever read the Rejected Princess?
Yes, I love that.
I love those, by the way. You should get his book, Rejected Princess. Amazing. Love them. Anyway.
It's the tale of the Oki Islands. And I swear the girl's name is on here.
She's Japanese?
Yeah. Tokoyo. That wasn't that bad.
That's a cute name, though.
Yeah, it's where the name Tokyo came from.
Really?
They're named after her.
Huh. I didn't know that. In this light, your hair looks green. But not just green. It looks like, the sickly poop you have after you've eaten a cake with too much food coloring in it.
For a moment there, I was almost trying to be like, yes, I've always wanted to like green hair. But no, then you ruined it.
It's just bad lighting with your hair color. Anyway, go on. We were talking about sociopaths. I'm not a sociopath.
No, Bethany. Narcissist.
I'm not.
Excuse my cough.
No, I'm not a narcissist because I only looked in the mirror once today and I didn't look at my face. I was just brushing my hair.
I think you're getting things confused. Okay, so let's go through over the terms.
All right, go on.
I think you
may continue.
You're confusing narcissist with vanity.
Oh, whatever. You may continue.
Okay, so I'm going to explain the three disorders, and then we're going to discuss serial killers and compare them. Sound good?
Oh! I have
a disease, an STD.
Yes, they're called children. No, I have a murder case from a local. It's a local one. It's from Reno, Nevada.
Yay!
And this one I've heard about. It's really, really graphic. So I don't know if we're going to share it today, or if maybe we'll hold on for like other times.
Usually we do supernatural stuff.
For what? We don't always do supernatural. We do all kinds of stuff. Have you not listened to any of our podcasts? We get on tangents more often than not.
All right, starting. Sociopath. This is the definition of the sociopath that I could find. 1. Doesn't respect social norms or laws. 2. Lies, deceives others. 3. Doesn't make any long-term plans. 4. Shows aggressive or aggravated behavior. Oh my gosh, this is sounding a little too much like me. 5. Doesn't consider their own safety or the safety of others. No, I can.
No, you don't.
And 6. Doesn't follow up on personal or professional responsibilities. Okay, so what I know of sociopaths is that they are learned more than born with. They tend to be the ones that have been so abused that they are broken. And then like psychopaths, instead of not feeling emotions, they feel too much.
Nurture versus nurture. Nature versus nurture, I mean.
Yeah, that's how that goes.
I got it.
So wait
a minute. Are we saying that you are this?
No. clearly I'm not, because
Clearly, because one thing doesn't sound like you.
Can't hold on to jobs.
Okay.
Oh my god!
Yeah, okay, so tell me how you're not a sociopath.
I haven't hurt anybody.
Physically.
I don't use false identities or nicknames.
Oh my god, yes you do! Faker.
People just name me whatever when I'm walking around because I am
You don't... What?
such a weird looking person.
Okay, alright, go on.
Okay, so do we have a grounding of what sociopath is?
Yep. Oh, I do. Very well.
Psychopath.
My favorite.
Socially irresponsible behavior.
Mm-hmm.
Disregarding or violating the rights of others.
Mm-hmm.
Inability to distinguish between right and wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Right there's a big difference between them and sociopath.
Okay, hold up. What's the one that they said most presidents are? Or CEOs?
Psychopath.
Or did they say that was psychopath?
Yeah, because sociopaths can't hold on to a job. They're too erratic.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see. Okay. I'm pretty sure that this is not actually the official definition of these
this
things.
is what I found on psychology website. But there's so many of those that you don't know if there is any actual legitimate backing to them.
All right, go on.
Inability to distinguish between right and wrong. Difficulty with showing remorse or empathy. Tendency to lie often. Manipulating and hurting others. Recurring problems with the law. General disregard towards safety and responsibility. So they're born with this inability. They understand that others feel pain. They just don't feel a connection to them.
So it's like watching an ant get squished. It's like,
yeah,
you know that might...
see other people as a different species almost.
Oh.
And they have no disregard for the law. So if someone pulls them over and they're a true psychopath and you were running a red light, they could have a dead body in the back and they'd be calm as ever. No,
well, that's true. There's a lot of serial killers they brought in.
Yeah,
that's why they can be questioned and they're cool as a cucumber. That's why they said that the
lie detectors.
Yeah, those don't work.
Yeah. So,
which, by the way, on a side note, we need to do away with lie detectors because they don't do diddly shit. All they do is scare bad people that aren't psychopaths into confessing the truth.
That's true. And then there's people like me who would feel guilty about anything.
Oh, I have a guilt complex like a mile
right?
long.
They bring me in and they're like, this child has been raped and abused and what do you know about it? I'm like, but I would still feel guilty.
But see, okay, so, take if one of my children were murdered,
mm-hmm.
I would feel guilty because I feel that it was my fault that they died. Because if they were kidnapped from... Let's say they just got out of school and they were waiting to go home and they got kidnapped. I would feel guilty and I'd feel that I was the murderer because I wasn't there to pick them up on time.
I also have a huge hero complex because when I hear of something like that, I'm like, I could have saved them. If I was there, I would have thrown myself in between. I would have done anything to save them.
I wonder if, and I wonder if they ever did a thing with mothers, just mothers. Fathers too probably, but I'm just saying with mothers. That if they did this test, if the majority of mothers would have a guilty, everything was their fault, and a hero complex. I wonder, because would most mothers think that if I had been there, my child would have lived? Or I didn't react fast enough, and if I had been faster, my child would have lived.
You think it's part of the whole maternal?
I wonder, that's what I'm saying. I wonder if it's something in that you have a sense of, because, I mean, let's face it, if the mothers did not have a sense of responsibility when you get a child, how would anyone ever grow up? Because you could just, squirt it out and leave it and walk away. Because you felt no sense of responsibility or...
I actually believe that most people who watch superhero movies and read comic books have their own hero complex. Because the reason we watch these is so that we can get the feeling of what it would be like to be there. Like, they have this driving need to be a hero. Comic-Con would be the worst place for a terrorist attack.
Or, yes, but you see, that they live in fantasy until they're slapped up with reality. And then they can't handle it.
Some can't.
Some can't. Some can't.
That's one of those moments where you realize who you really are.
That's true.
I have a question. I can't swim. I am terrified of the water. I go into the water, I'm like a cat. I drown everyone I go near.
I know.
So if I saw someone drowning, like someone who I care about, like a child, what would I do? I can't swim to save them. I would only end up risking my life. But would that stop me?
Okay, so I already know the answer to this question for myself. Because, do you remember when we were staying in that one campground and we tied my dog up by the tree and I was sitting beside her. She was in the shade and I was sitting on the picnic table, reading, I think I was reading. And I got up to get a drink or something, and our mom screamed, and she said, get in here right now, and tried to grab me. And I turned around, and there was a huge-ass snake going right towards my dog. And I pulled out of her arms, and I ran right in front of that snake. It didn't bother me. I just had to save my dog. And I got my dog, got back, and the snake didn't end up biting us, but I know for a fact that if it came down to it, I could save that person. I don't know if I'd save him or kill him, but I would, but that's a bad thing though. Okay, so we were driving one time, and it was icy, and I hit the ice, and as it's spinning the car around, it was like time did stop, and I remember all of a sudden I got real calm and thought, now's the time I'm going to die, and I'm okay. I'm good with it. And I was very calm. I didn't get hysterical and lose my shit. I was just very calm. That could be a bad thing as well.
I know that if I was in the same situation with a snake, I would run in between to save someone I loved. Now, if it was a dentist, fuck him.
Oh, I know you and dentists.
Dentist, man. Okay, so moving on to narcissist, which is the most misunderstood of all of them. Because I've seen all the gifts.
Okay, here's what I think a narcissist is.
Okay, good shoot.
Someone who puts their needs, wants, and feelings in front of all others. That theirs are most important. They feed off the positive. They take somebody else's positivity and turn it into negativity back at them. Like you come and say, I got an A on this test. And they'd be like, why wasn't it an A+? I could have, and they always put themselves like they could have gotten an A+. If you would just ask them, they could have done it. Is that right?
Yes, but I was watching a psychiatrist and she explained narcissist as being just like a psychopath, except that a narcissist would feel regret or not so much guilt, but a definite fear of what people would think of them for their actions.
So they could experience a sense of loss, like the loss of their reputation?
Yeah. So for instance, a psychopath kills somebody, and then he's found out, he's like, yep, that's right, I did it. I killed him. You want to know why? A narcissist would be like, yes, I did it, but you don't understand. I wasn't the monster. I was protecting myself. Or I did this because of this. It wasn't because I'm bad.
Oh, so it's the other one that was bad and it was their fault.
Yeah, they will twist the story so that they are actually the victim or the hero or they're always the protagonist in their story.
Oh, okay.
So they are very much, I would consider narcissists a form of psychopath.
I guess. I don't know how
they would, if they had a situation where they could either succeed but it would destroy other people, or they could bite the bullet so other people would, survive better. They would always choose to succeed to hurt other people. They would just worry about what other people think about them.
Self-image?
Yes.
Hey, side note, did you see the movie The Joker? Did you watch it?
Not yet.
Okay, so it is very disturbing.
It's just what was it?
No.
Comedy, Saturday Night? What was that movie called? The Scorsese movie it's based on.
No. The Joker with Joaquin Phoenix?
Mm-hmm.
About the Joker?
Yeah, it made references to that other movie all through it.
Yes, but, okay, you gotta see this movie. It is very disturbing because you can see him slowly, it's almost like they took you and dropped you right into the mind of someone. It is, I don't know if that's, whatever the disorder he has.
Alright, so what I've heard from the description, I would say he's a sociopath. Because he's obviously been abused as a child.
Yes.
And his actions are chaotic.
But at the same time, his mother was insane. So she passed that down to him too. So it's a little bit of nature, a little bit of nurture. A lot of nurture. At least in this movie. And you can see the crackdown in a human. And you can also see parallels of what's happening in this movie, which takes place in the 70s, I think. Maybe early 80s. I can't remember. To what's happening now.
I feel like the writers of that, they weren't looking for a specific disorder as much as just going into the grab bag and saying, oh, this looks fun and this looks fun.
I don't know.
From his thing about laughing where they had that normal, all of a sudden they can't stop themselves from laughing in a normal situation.
Yes.
That's a symptom for several things.
But I disagree because you've got to see the movie. It's well done. I can see where it goes real slow, but it goes slow in a... You know when you're watching a movie and you know that someone's going to jump out of the closet?
Yeah.
Like a jump scare. It's like jump scares, but you see it coming. It's just... You have to watch the movie. Really, you've got to watch it.
The build-up?
Build-up is... it's a really good movie. I think he does deserve the award. It is so disturbing. You know when you watch a performer do something that's... Did you ever watch I think it's called The Comeback? With Lisa Kudrow was in it. She was playing she had been on a popular TV show in the 90s, and now she was trying to get her career back on track. And she would do very uncomfortable things to get attention, and the whole time you're watching it, you're cringing. That was what it was like watching The Joker. He did stuff and you're cringing. You're like, no.
I hate watching cringy. Okay.
But anyway, okay, go back.
So I was going over this narcissist, and I'll read their symptoms out.
I know that's your favorite one.
It is. Because it's the one that's so hard to put a nail on.
You'd like to.
I might know somebody. Have an exaggerated sense of self-importance. Have a sense of entitlement and require constant excessive admiration. Cult leaders. Expect to be recognized as superior, even without achievements that warrant it. Exaggerate achievements and talents. Be preoccupied with fantasies about success. Believe they are superior and can only associate with equally special people.
Hold on. Doesn't anybody who wants to succeed a career kind of have to be a little narcissistic? Because you've got to tell yourself you're great, you're amazing, you can do it. So isn't the majority of people that, like CEOs, presidents, whatever, aren't they narcissistic?
Yes.
Because you have to lie to yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I would actually say that most CEOs, they say are psychopaths, but I would say they're more narcissistic.
Okay. Yeah, I have to agree, especially after that definition. Go on.
Monopolize conversations and belittle or look down on people they perceive as inferior.
Why'd you look at me like that?
I didn't look at you like anything!
Yes, you did!
That's called guilt!
It's not guilt!
It's not Jewish coins. Expect special favors and unquestioning compliance with their expectations. Take advantage of others to get what they want.
Stop looking at me! I do not take advantage of others!
Have an inability or unwillingness to recognize the needs and feelings of others. Be envious of others and believe others envy them. Behave in an arrogant or haughty manner, coming across as conceited. Insist on having the behavior of everything. For instance, the best car or office.
Okay.
So, I know, there's little things like this that I catch in everybody. Like that one girl we knew who thought every guy was in love with her or wanted to have sex with her.
Are you talking about moldy teeth?
No, but she was kind of like that.
Oh, the one who always used blue eyeshadow?
Yeah!
Oh! Yes! Oh!
She's
no!
Like, everyone... he's like, oh yeah, he wants to do me.
Oh!
And she'd always pose herself in a way that was like, come and get it, even though she didn't want him. Which was... Because you knew that they didn't want her, which made it even more cringy.
She had bad hygiene.
Mm-hmm.
Her parts, every time she sat by me, I got smells that wafted up. I'm like, whoa! You need to shower. How do you tell someone that nicely?
I don't think it's a shower thing. I think that it's, like, what she consumes just caused her to be more...
I don't know. It wasn't moldy teeth, and it wasn't Cheez-Its in the corner of the mouth chick.
I think she did a lot of pot, and she didn't use deodorizers.
No, it wasn't a pot smell coming off of her. It
was
like a filthy coochie smell.
More. It makes you sweat more.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right, I gotcha.
But I know she did a lot of pot. So
did Cheez-Its in the corner of the mouth chick? Did she?
Oh God!
Did she do a lot of pot? I don't think she did. I think she just didn't know how to eat properly.
No, she had a mental disorder. I mean, she was.
Don't we all?
No, she was slow. What is the PC term for that?
I don't remember. But every time this chick ate Cheez-Its, and it was always Cheez-Its because she was always eating Cheez-Its, she would get like chipmunk, a little ball of the Cheez-It in the corner of her mouth where you can see it.
Oh God, it makes me want to vomit. I don't know why that
on both corners of the mouth
makes me want to vomit, but just even remembering it does.
Okay, and then this chick, Moldy Teeth.
I was reading about the Japanese cannibal. I was watching nasty pictures. None of it made me want to vomit, but her mouth thing does.
Mold. Do you remember Moldy Teeth when she would eat her sandwiches and she'd get the mayonnaise on her fingers and she hadn't washed these hands they were like, I mean, you're unpacking boxes.
You remember Moldy Teeth's sexy dance?
Oh. Okay, so we're off topic. Completely off topic.
Really off topic.
Alright, so you had a killer, you said.
Alright, so I was going to bring up the Japanese cannibal, Issei Sagawa. And I know I'm mispronouncing his name.
No, you're close enough. This guy's an asshole, and I'm not afraid to say.
So, I only took... have you read about him?
Oh, yes.
I have too. So I'm not going to go over his murders. I think did last podcast go over him yet?
Wait, is this the guy who ate the girl, and he was eating on her body?
The college student.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. He
only killed one person. I was thinking about the other cannibal guy who killed the children.
Yeah, I think he went to Europe for college.
He did.
And he's a short little guy. He's really short, even for...
he's so gross.
And, by the way, I've been told my whole life Japanese people are short, but I worked in an environment where I was working with a lot of Japanese people. They're not short. They're normal height.
It's the same with Napoleon. Everybody says he's so short.
I was upset because I'm short, so I thought, hey, I'm going to be with my own people. No, I was still short to them.
No, that's just because people get these racist ideas in their heads about everyone, Right. They all walk single file because I saw one once. It's their whole brain. They're too stupid to realize that they're a human being, and human beings come in all different flavors.
Right.
Except for this guy. This guy's a disgusting asshole.
Alright. So, yeah, he was born premature, and he was tiny his whole life. And then he goes over and
tiny hands.
Yes. I think the whole tiny all over thing.
No, his hands. They're like... okay, go on.
Anyway, so everyone says he's super smart, but he's super quiet, and he's just that oddball that everyone tries to, be friends with.
And his parents had money.
And so this tall, gorgeous Dutch student tries to befriend him and be nice to him, and he kills her and eats her.
Slowly over the weekend.
And the thing is that when the cops caught him, they just said he confessed it immediately.
Oh, yeah.
They stopped him. I don't know if they even stopped him about that, and he just immediately...
He admitted it. He didn't care. And then when they transferred him... Okay, I'm tramping all over your story.
No, go for it.
Then when they transferred him to Japan, he's out. He's a celebrity over there for being a cannibal.
Have you seen the recent documentary about him?
No, I haven't seen the recent
one. Cannibal.
Okay.
And it's kind of hilarious because when he first gets over there, he was a celebrity, and he was always had white chicks around him hanging out. The thing was because they didn't know why everyone was giving him attention, so they just thought he was some super rich Japanese guy. So they would hang out with him, not knowing that he was a cannibal. Oh. And then when they found out, they would abandon him immediately. So he's like, no one can love me. No one truly cares about me. Even when he, in his height of his celebrity and he had money coming in, he was all, oh, I'm such the victim because I can't find true love.
So he was a narcissist.
I would say he was, honestly. And I'll go through several key points that I thought. Okay. But now he's on welfare. He's in public housing. His brother takes care of him. And he spends the whole time like, I can't get a job, I can't get it forward. I'm destroying my family's reputation because everyone wants to make me into a monster. I'm just a man with a fetish.
Wait a minute. Isn't he in his 80s, right? 70s.
He's old.
Because this happened in the 70s, didn't it? That he ate this girl?
Yeah. It looks like it was the 70s.
I think it was the 70s, yeah.
So I'll go through some key points. Anyway, he had this childhood fantasy that where he saw a play where a Japanese giant was eating people. And he had this fantasy that if he ate people, he would be tall too.
Is that Attack on Titan?
That is new. That is
my God.
And, oh my God.
I need a spray bottle of water and spray it.
Your shit up, okay? With your loathing on others.
I just loathe upon you.
You did. You loathed all over me.
Oh my God. Okay. Fine. Sorry.
Okay.
Still Attack on Titan.
This is a play, and Attack on Titan is a manga anime.
Okay.
Can we move on?
Ooh, yes.
Okay, so he claimed several times that this was that his fantasy developed from this. But he also said later that it was just a fetish, and he's just a very sexual man. Alright, so his childhood stories scream child abuse, but he claims he never was abused. He did show signs. He did have experience bestiality, where he'd rape animals, and
ew,
yeah,
right then,
and was constantly making comments. Like,
right then, did you hear the dog snoring?
It's a little pug.
Here, pug.
Oh my God, that's the worst thing ever.
Oh my God. Side note. Okay. I was reading this book this one time.
No one ever tries to rape a mastiff.
I think it was called Stories of the ER, and in it there was a story of this guy who had to go in to the ER because he was having sex with, like, I think it was a toy poodle, and he couldn't get his dingling out, and it was horrific, and that just made me think of it. Thanks a lot. What is wrong with you? Go on.
Shit, when I heard the word bestiality, I was just thinking about the furries. You went there! You went into the worst place! Anyway.
Gross. At least it looks like he's got a tiny dick, so...
Yeah. He does.
He really... Right? Sometimes you can look at somebody and you're like, yeah, your dick is so tiny.
He believes he's been punished enough.
Does the family of the girl he ate believe that too?
He never mentions her.
Oh my God.
Or, other than that, once in the past he said he thought of it as the greatest sign of his love.
I saw that interview he did.
And he's like, I don't want people to think I'm a monster. I'm not a monster. Even though he also says that he wants to eat somebody again.
He said that, really? I thought he said he doesn't have that urge anymore.
He doesn't want to die without feeling the need to eat another woman again. But he said it in a way like it was a sexual fantasy, like, I just want to get laid one more.
Why doesn't he, like, chomp off a piece of him and eat his own self?
Oh.
That is so gross.
Right?
Okay, I completely messed up.
Psychopath, sociopath, or narcissist?
All of the above. I think he's more of a narcissist.
He seems to be a narcissist.
But he did kill somebody.
He cares so much about how other people see him.
But he has psychopathic tendencies.
Yeah, well, that's what a narcissist is. The psychopath that cares about their image.
That's really nasty. I'm so glad you shared that. I messed up who you were talking about with the Japanese guys.
Did you?
Yeah, I thought it was this other dude who's just as gross.
There's not that many Japanese serial killers that I can think of.
I think there might be more than we even know about. Did you ever hear...
Probably.
Side note. Did you ever hear about those...
That was a surprise.
And I think this was in Japan. About the 3 teenage boys that kidnapped that girl.
Yeah, the Hello Kitty?
It was at Hello Kitty. And they kept her for like 2 months.
Yeah, and then they stuffed her in a giant stuffed Hello Kitty.
After they tortured her?
Yeah, and after they killed her, they cut her parts up.
I don't remember if that was how it happened. It was the 3 teenage boys.
And then they called it like the Hello Kitty murder.
Oh my God, was that horrific?
Yeah.
I had never... did you ever read John Saul?
The weird thing is how easy it seems to be for these crazies to fight each other.
They have to root out each other. I think it's because they notice themselves in someone. You know when somebody says, oh, I see a lot of myself in you? I think that's how it is. They just see a lot of themselves in other people, and they're like, they gravitate towards each other.
Those two kids who killed that little boy, Lieb and Loeb.
Oh, yeah. Leopold and Leopold and I think it was Lowe. I don't remember. But yeah, from the 20s.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember those two, the two rich kids.
How one went into this, high-end school, and he found the other one that was the perfect match for him.
Well, they always do. It's like, because, I was telling you, it's because they can see a little bit of themselves in that other person. And they like it. Most people are scared when they see themselves in someone else.
But there's a big difference between their relationship and Holmes's with his goon. Because his goon was like, he wasn't in it for the enjoyment as much as
the paycheck.
As the paycheck. He was an actual...
We're talking about H.H. Holmes, in case you're wondering.
Yes, H.H. Holmes. The killer of Chicago.
They were going to make a movie with Leonardo DiCaprio. And you know what? I have to say, I think Leonardo DiCaprio would have played that role very well.
Leonardo DiCaprio plays every role very well.
He's such a good actor. You know, when I saw What's Eating Gilbert Grape, I forgot that he was in that one TV show. And I actually thought that they had a mentally disabled kid playing this part. That's how convincing he was.
Yeah. I was like, nice of them to have your role with him.
Yeah, because they never did that before.
He did it really well.
So, I mean, in fact, our children will never know how undiversified movies were when we were younger.
Oh my gosh, yeah, nowadays so much of it would have been considered insulting and...
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, yeah. Okay, I was watching... Side note
within the side note.
I was watching Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. I don't know why, but I was. First off... Okay, I need to calm down. Their historically inaccurate outfits and timelines really pissed me off. Like, they saved the two princesses, but they've got the princesses dressed up like they were from the 1700s, and then they're saying that they were from medieval times, but then their hair was done in Renaissance. Okay, but they had some pretty homophobic, racist terms they were thrown around in that movie. Still a good movie, but, Side note over. I'm done.
Side note, that's what I love about time-traveling romance novels. You ever read them? I like to add the excerpt, and then they all died. Because you know that if you actually travel time to the Native Americans, or the Highlands, or the Vikings, because that's how they all want to do, to this sexy guy in time, someone's gonna sneeze, and then everyone's gonna die.
Childbirth!
And what about the lice?
I know.
I do not want to be a woman in these ancient times. No matter how hot the guys were.
And do you know how many of your babies were going to die before they get adulthood?
Yes.
I'm like...
Rickets was a thing.
And there was no birth control, so you could be popping out babies up until it's not happening anymore.
And until you couldn't even close your legs because everything was flapping.
I know. I when I was younger, I liked time travel. Now... I see how comfortable it is. And I'm like, no, I like my time now.
Right?
Just bring back the pretty dresses.
And they always have that one little line in them where, I miss the things like pizza and ordering on the phone, but I would give it all up for love. I'm like, bullshit! You are not giving up hot running water for anybody. You lying whore.
Pizza? You'd give up pizza? Pizza. I would not give up pizza. I don't know if I would give up pizza for anything. It's pizza.
Your husband? He might listen to this. I think he already knows the answer, Beth.
Can he have pizza on him?
He's come home, tired, frustrated, and his pregnant wife turns to him and says,
Pizza! No.
And he's had to trudge out there.
It has to be perfect. Did I tell you the story? Side note. Did I tell you the story?
Zombies running out there, and you would have sent him out to get pizza.
It was a week before I was due to pop, and I woke him up at it was like about 2 o'clock in the morning. We were repainting the living room or something, so I didn't wake him up, but he was about ready to go to bed, and I said, I'm starving. I need you to get me something to eat. And I said, you have to go to Jack in the Box. You have to get the Western burger, or the Western chicken sandwich. And it has to have cheese, it has to have ranch, and it has to have tomato on it.
That's nasty.
This is what I was craving.
Okay, cheese.
He goes, brings it back, and he brought me a grilled chicken sandwich that was not what I wanted. I was like, that's it, I can't eat it. Can't eat it. He had to go back and get me another one. And I'm not trying to be a bitch. I couldn't eat it. When you have pregnancy cravings, it has to be exactly what you're craving, or you can't eat it, you'll vomit.
No, that wasn't. No.
That's a real thing.
That's just you.
No, it's a real thing.
No, that's narcissist.
Side note over.
Alright. So, are we both kind of agreeing that he's a narcissist?
Oh, definitely. That guy's gross. Do you have another one?
Panzeram.
Oh, I don't know about Panzeram. He was
I'm going to go into detail about his life. The last podcast on the left, you should listen to them. They did a very in-depth cover of it all, and it's really good.
They did.
But basically, he was just a kid that was getting into a lot of trouble, and then he went into into juvie, where he was raped nonstop, abused.
Okay. Whoa.
And broken.
His family were not helpful, and they were very dirt poor. They were abusive. That's right, though. He did go into the system, and the system failed him miserably. And then he learned that if you raped, he didn't like raping women because he'd had sex with a woman, and I don't think it was rape. I think he got a prostitute, and they had sex, and she, from her, he got an STD. I don't remember what it was. He got some STD. So then he said, women women will make you sick. But men, on the other hand, so he was raping men. He raped thousands of men. Of his estimate, he had raped almost 2,000 men in his spree. Men and boys as young as 8 years old. So he was a monster. Don't get me wrong. He was a monster.
I just think he's more a sociopath.
I do too, because he didn't think anything of his looks or himself. He would work out just so he was strong enough to take others.
He didn't work out because he worked out. The prison system built him into a
hulking monster.
Yeah, and his actions always seemed a bit less thought out.
Yeah, you know what? I agree with you. I think he was a
sociopath.
Yeah. I felt a little sorry for him because of the way he was treated. But then again, it's like, okay, there was this guy, and I gotta look him up. But in I think it was in the 90s, he had been horribly abused as a child, and he was missing an eye. He always wore an eye patch.
Oh, yeah.
And he grew up, and he started all kinds of things to help children who had been abused. He had it rough, and he changed it around. He didn't let it sink him down and pull him into the mire. He fought, and he made something of himself. Lots of other people have done the same thing.
So, are you to that head injury makes you a sociopath?
Oh, I'm totally before that. Every one of them have had head injuries. Panzeram had a head injury, bad head injury. All of them, almost all of them. It's almost like, where they said if you're a bedwetter, if you hurt animals and you like to start fires, those are like the sacred 3 to make a serial killer. Head injuries is in my top. All of them had injuries. Who's the dude in England? He had the house on Corning Street. Fred and Mae West.
Yeah.
Fred West. Tons. I mean, he had like 3 really bad head injuries.
Yeah, but his family was messed up to start with.
Yeah, they were messed up too, but he had a lot of head injuries. That one guy who was the smiley face killer, head injury. I mean, I can go on and on and on. Head injury. Okay,
so, side note, Ted Bundy, right?
Yeah.
I've heard my whole life, he's the attractive serial killer. He's the one to avoid because serial killers can be attractive. They're not all monster looking.
Yeah.
But every time I saw Ted Bundy, he wasn't attracted to me. There was an uncanny valley about his face.
Yes.
And I would stare at it. I'm like, there's something off about him that bugs me. And when I saw the documentary about him, I realized what it was. His face is uneven. It's just like this weird disproportion, like one eye.
He has a big forehead too.
Yeah, and that's what it was. I think that really was getting me because You know
what? You have a point because he looked better when he had a beard. Because it kind of evened it out a bit, but now you remember. I
never thought him as attractive. He wasn't attractive to me.
I think the pictures they have of H.H. Holmes is more, if you had to pick out an attractive serial killer, not that I ever would be, but if you had to pick out one, he is more attractive looking than...
Yeah, I never thought, and I've heard women saying that they were attracted to him. He's like the Kennedy of serial killers.
I never thought the Kennedys were hot either.
Me neither.
When John was really popular, I never thought he was hot either. I don't like dudes. Okay.
Every actor in the Marvel movies I find attractive. That is my scale of attractive.
You know why? Because they have little boy-ish qualities. Like Mel Gibson, before he came out anti-Semitic, He was cute because he had that little boy, like, quality.
Well, yeah.
Harrison Ford, the little boy quality. Fresh Prince. Will Smith, the little boy quality.
I don't
Look
even
at his
call it
face.
little boy as much as just a touch of immaturity.
It's the same. It's a little boy. Okay, look at Robert Downey Jr. He's got that little. He is almost 60 years old, and look at him. He's still hot, fine as ever.
That people who have a little immature make some of the best parents because they're willing to get down on the floor and play with Legos for hours.
But I mean, I'm serious. They're fine. I've always liked men that were like men. I don't like little boys. Like, I would never have been attracted to Justin Bieber. He's talented. Don't get me wrong, but he would never have been my cup of tea. Because he was just too kiddish. I don't know if that makes any sense, but yeah. Why did we start talking about this?
I was talking about Ted Bundy.
Oh, yeah, Ted Bundy.
No, Ted Bundy, famous story. We all know his story.
He was gross.
Psychopath, sociopath, or narcissist.
Oh, and a necrophiliac. Did you ever hear the story about when there was that...
Side note.
This is a Ted Bundy story, so it kind of plays in. He was busy killing this chick, and she just died. They were in the woods, and he heard someone coming. So he left her body there, and he climbed up a tree, and a guy and a girl were walking down the path, and they came to the tree underneath. Ted Bundy was right above them, watching them, and the guy moved his foot, and it touched or stepped on the dead girl's hand or arm or something. But it was too dark for them to see what it was. And they got freaked out, so they left. And Ted Bundy said that was the closest he'd ever come to getting caught. Did you ever hear that story?
Yeah, I've heard it from the version of the girl that was walking.
Oh, I heard it from their daughter.
Their daughter, yeah. And she heard it from her mom.
Yeah, so... Well, Ted Bundy also said that was the closest he had ever come to getting caught. Anyway.
So, that's not that much of a side note. So, psychopath, narcissist...
I don't know. I think he was more...
sociopath? I mean, he wasn't abused as a child.
No. Well, he was told that his mother was... It's actually his... Well, didn't he have the thing with Jack Nicholson?
Yeah.
Where it was his grandmother...
But that's not child abuse. That's just... that's a bad week.
I don't know. I mean...
That's like...
I think
I guess we move
he
on
didn't have a great childhood.
He was poor. Alright, we grew up poor. It's not something that it doesn't destroy you. We're not in that way.
Well, no, not in that way. Or like Richard Speck. Do you know he's got... I don't know. I think he's dead now, but he had breast implants.
Yeah.
They got pictures of it. That is so wrong. Oh, anyway. Okay, I digress. I think he had a little bit of narcissist because they always have to. They have to have a little bit... but I think he was more of a psychopath with narcissistic tendencies. Now,
he doesn't seem overly ashamed of what he did as much as it's just not that important.
Well, he did the same thing. It was in the past when he claimed he found God. And a lot of them claim they found God because God... Okay, it's just the idea, if you just say it, it gets an easy scapegoat. Oh, I've accepted Jesus. He's forgiven all my sins. They no longer exist. They're gone. What people don't understand is, yes, he forgives your sins, your spiritual side. Your physical form is still in this reality, and you still have to pay for your crimes in this reality. So if you were, let's for shits and giggles say it was Hitler, and Hitler said, I've come to Jesus, I'd be like, awesome. Wait,
can a psychopath actually apologize for their sins? Can they seek, because you do have to feel guilt, and they can't.
I listened to, there's this, one of the head researchers of sociopaths. He's a doctor and he is a sociopath.
He's a psychopath.
Psychopath, I mean. But he still, he hasn't hurt anyone. But he says, these feelings, he combats them every day. He fights against them. He just hasn't given into his inside.
Alright, I kind of get it because everyone has that impulse where they're sitting there and they're like, if I just push somebody down, it would fall. And there's actual term for it. Where you're standing with someone at a train stop.
Oh, yeah, or you stand against the edge and you look down and you're like, I could just drop. And it's not because you want to commit suicide, it's just this thing, like...
It goes in your mind, this could happen. Well, you're holding a baby, you're like, it's so thin, it's so fragile, I could just kill it.
No, yeah.
You don't want to do it.
No. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Okay, so I think, so just because of that, because I think we've all felt that, I can kind of get the psychopath impulse where like, I could just do that. Only they don't have that part that stops them.
I completely agree.
And so to a point,
I disagree. Because a lot of them fight against that until they finally don't. I think that they do have the ability to not, but it's so much easier to give in. It's kind of like dieting. It's exactly like dieting. You've got all this temptation. There's our, victims.
So they don't have willpower is what you're saying.
They do have willpower. It's if they are strong enough to resist it, but then they give in, and it's so much easier to give in.
Because Issei Sagawa, the Japanese cannibal we were talking about, he said that he took prostitutes to his apartment before he did the murder, and he was always he would try to shoot him, but he just couldn't do it.
A lot of them did that. A lot of the serial killers, they all start out where they're almost there, or they rape someone, but they don't kill her.
It's like they're waiting for a permission.
They have
one thing that says they can do it.
That's why they wait until their victim does something that makes them mad, because then it's the victim's fault, and the victim has given them permission to carry out this, whatever deed it is. So
there's always that first murder, which is a mess. Sometimes it's an accident, even.
Yeah, well, they always have. They don't just go from. They always have to have. Yeah, the first murder is never perfect, or maybe it is really perfect. But then eventually they're going to get to their where they lose it, and it's I forgot the word for it, but it's when they lose it and they're on a rampage. Mm. Almost all of them do it.
So do you have stories?
You know what? I do have a story, but I think that's gonna be for our next show, and I wanted to bring that up with you. That was well done.
Thank you.
Good job, Izzy. I enjoyed that immensely. So I was thinking that for our next one, we will do local legends. Whoa, scary legends, supernatural.
Well, wait, you say local legends, but is it to our local? Because that's just limited to,
Well, I'm thinking around the area, something that... We're from the Reno, Sparks, Nevada area, so I'm thinking, why don't we...
But we grew up in Oregon, too, so we could...
Oh, that's true. Okay, so you know what? Why don't we do this? Why don't we do local from our childhood or adulthood? So we'll do some Oregon stories, some Washington stories, and some Nevada stories. What do you think? We'll do some urban legends of the Pacific Northwest. We'll do some stories of the
what is it called? The Kel-Nev, Oregon.
I don't think that's what that's called. We'll just do. How about we just do some things local, like that to us, where areas that we have lived.
Okay.
Okay. What do you think?
We'll work with it.
Yeah. So what do you think? So
we'll spin it until it's something that we can work with.
Exactly. All right. Well, thank you for joining us.
And prepare for next time to be something completely different than what we just said.
Maybe a little poopery.
Poopery.
Because sometimes it's pretty bad. I'm not going to say potpourri if it's, crappy. Anyway, I'm your host, Bethany.
I guess I'm Izzy.
What do you mean you guess? You either are or you aren't.
I'm still figuring out what you just said.
Yeah, well, it's okay. All right, so join us next time for our own personal local-ish tales and legends.
Okay.
Wah.
You just had to do it, didn't you? Last time you said that you were going to do it anymore.
Did I?
Yes.
That was
I was waiting to see if you were going to do it.
I didn't do it last year. It's a new year, dumbass. Okay.